Okay, we're recording. Great. So, hi everybody. Welcome to the presentation on the Conflict Resolution and Mediation program. Let me share my screen. Well, actually, let me explain what we're going to do. First, I'm going to give you a quick presentation, just some points about the program itself, and then we also have Francesca here, who is currently a thesis student in the program. So she's in the second year. She already completed the program itself. She's doing a thesis now, and she's here to answer any questions you might have as potential students. And then I'm going to open it up to questions. But if I say something and you think you might forget, feel free to interrupt. Israel is a very interrupting culture. I'm very used to it. It's fine. So I don't mind at all. Okay, so I am also not really good with Zoom, but let me figure out how to do this. So the first thing is, let me give you a little bit of an overview of TAUi International. Tel Aviv University is, first of all, is a university with 30,000 students, of which about 1,200 students, I think, are international students. So they're not Israeli. And they study in English, in BA level, MA level, and PhD in research. And there's a variety of programs, one of which, of course, is conflict resolution. So let me share the video that they wanted me to show. Hopefully everyone can hear it. Let's go.
Tel Aviv University International, the only place in the world where you can study Taoism. Taoism? Well, it's a local philosophy that says the best way to study is through experience. Understand with your head, learn with your feet. The best way to study a multicultural society is to live in one. Be ready with your elevator pitch. You never know who you'll meet on campus. If you want to learn the best marketing strategies, just go to the local market. Reading about the Startup Nation? Write your own chapter. Study literature in the place that inspired the bestseller of all time. You can't resolve a conflict until you witness one. TAU, there's always room for more questions and 400 labs to find the answers. Come experience the wisdom of Taoism at Tel Aviv University International, where first-class education meets a second-to-none lifestyle.
Oh, sorry, there was a little joke on the end, which I missed for you guys. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, so let me share the presentation itself about the program. Share screen. Okay. Everyone can see the presentation?
Yes.
Perfect. How do I make it full screen? How do I do this? F5.
Go to view.
View? Where's view?
To the other side. Next to help on the end.
So you're better than me. Sorry, I can't see everything because I have part of the here. Ah, that's why. Okay, slideshow. That's why. Thank you. It was covered.
Well, that's not it, huh?
No. Okay.
How about window? Go over to your left.
Mm-hmm.
And it says review. Nope. Come back. Next to view is
Maybe
review.
slideshow.
Click view.
Okay.
Go back and click view. Okay, now go down and now just to your left. You see underneath it says
Presentation view.
It says review, and then underneath it there's a fit to window.
No, where do you see this?
on my screen, on your screen.
I don't see this.
Okay, did you see?
I don't see this. Okay, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll cope with what we have. Don't worry. It's okay. Okay. So as I showed, there's a variety of programs offered at Tel Aviv University. This is the Conflict Resolution and Mediation program. So this is a 10-month program. It starts every year in October. It ends in August. It is 3 semesters long. You can do it in 2 semesters, but then you would miss out on the great summer courses. All courses are taught in English. There are no courses taught in Hebrew. There is an equivalent Hebrew program, but that is taught different days, different times. This is meant for international students. The idea of what we teach is it's supposed to be very interdisciplinary, very practical, and very experiential. We put a lot of emphasis on skills development, case studies, and field experiences. And that can be the lecturers who we have come to teach. That could be our course trips or workshops that we have. We invite in guest speakers all the time. And just living in Israel, living among Israelis, going to the Palestinian territories, being able to speak to Israelis and Palestinians about the conflict is very helpful in understanding conflicts in general. I always say I studied conflict at University of Ottawa. I'm from Canada, but I lived in Israel before that. And the thing that was most missing for me was being taught by and being surrounded by real conflicts. I mean, there are conflicts obviously in Canada, believe it or not, but being in a conflict area, you get to learn what theory tells you and then see if it really matches reality out in the field. How is it also practical? We do a lot of development, skills development when it comes to negotiations, mediation. We have a mediation workshop, which includes a certification from Tel Aviv University. It is not certification to become a mediator. That in each country, in fact, in each state, in each country, it is very different rules. But you get an overview, and you are often able to train to be a mediator in your local authority because of having the certification. Because of who teaches in our program and the people you run into, as the video showed, you get a lot of firsthand expertise. Most of the lecturers in our program are not university professors. They are people who work in the field who have PhDs. So a lot of them come with many, many years of experience. And a lot of them have direct experience with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and other conflicts around the world. And as I mentioned before, and Francesca is here to speak about as well, and we have an optional thesis here for those who want to go on to do a PhD. Just to understand what that means by interdisciplinary approach, we look at conflict from a variety of perspectives, from political science, social psychology, religion, culture, law. In the first semester, you have a course in each of those. In the second and third semester, all the courses are electives, and they are a little bit more interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, where they mix the political, psychological, sociological, economic, religious, different ways. So it could be things, subjects like religion and conflict, environment and conflict, game theory, the NGO world, different ways of understanding conflicts around the world. And as I said before, the program itself is very much about learning theory, how the theory matches practice, and how do you apply that practically through and learn skills, how to solve conflicts. We're often asked, what do people do with this degree? In order of, pretty much order of what I think people are doing. I do a survey every couple of years of what people are doing and where they're working. We have graduates who work in different forms of government. That could be the US government, it could be the German government, it could be European Parliament or local governments. Then the next group I would say is the NGO and IGO world. There's a lot of people who stay on in Israel to work in the Israeli NGO sector. A lot of local NGOs that people can work in and get practical experience in. We have students who went on to work in different UN offices around the world. And then with that is the nonprofit world, which is related to NGOs. And then I would say that the next group is what I call, think tanks consulting. So that's a mix of the public and the private. Often, so for example, we have students who, I think we have a student now who's working at Visa, the credit card company, doing analysis of conflict zones for practical purposes for the business world. Or people who go into consulting in Deloitte who deal with business consulting when it comes to conflicts in the business world. And then we have a few who go on to law school. Every year we have 2 or 3, or come from law school, that's also another path, or go on to do a PhD. More or less, that's about the program. But one thing I want to point out is that when you're a student, you're not completely alone. There's a few things. First of all, as a student in the program, there's usually 30 to 35 students. You're a solid group of students who come in and you study together. But you're also part of a group of foreign students. As I said, I think it's about 1,200. Don't quote me, I'm bad at numbers, of students from around the world. And then their TAUi International is a group that helps, an umbrella group that helps support them. And they have a student life team. So there are Israeli students who help you guys deal with living in Israel if you've never lived in Israel, dealing with your arrival before, that's a big thing, finding an apartment, how to adapt culturally. If you have medical issues or something happens, those are people you can contact. We're also here in the program for that as well. They're better experts at this. So if you're not able to reach them, often we'll step in and help you guys out. That's part of what we do. They also have their own trips. We have trips in our program as well, but they do their own trips around Israel. Ours are much more centered around the idea of conflict resolution. So we would have, for example, have a trip around the Gaza area, not into Gaza, we're not allowed, but Gaza area, to see, let's say, the wall, the separation barrier between the West Bank and Israel, because we are obviously focused on conflict resolution. They do have trips where they take you to local cities or maybe an overnight to get to know Israel in general. So these are requirements to apply. You should look on the website. If anyone wants me to speak to it, I will, about the application requirements. Our deadlines, the latest deadline is July 31st, but I will point out that if anyone is looking to live in the dorms, then the deadline for application, I would say, is the end of February, beginning of March, because they want you to be accepted and confirmed before applying for the dorms, and the dorm confirmation date is March 31st. It may be extended, but March 31st right now is the date. Of course, we will accept people after that, and if they can't get into the dorms, then we help them find apartments. That's not a big deal. The cost is $16,800, which includes all tuition, includes in health insurance, and readings, because we don't really have books. Everything today is electronic, so there's no need to buy books. There are scholarships, and for Americans and some other groups, I'm not sure who fits into that, there are loans. So just so you're aware of that. So that's the general overview. Do you guys have any questions? And I will stop sharing this.
Do you have an estimate of what the costs of apartments or food might be?
Yeah, I would say between, if you're going to live alone, an apartment minimum is about $1,500 a month, American, we're talking about. If you live with roommates, then it's a little less, but figure on about $800. Francesca, do you think that's correct? $800 to $1,000?
Yeah, I'm paying $800. No, I'm paying $900, and I think it's really cheap.
Okay.
Like for Tel Aviv, for Tel
Yeah,
Aviv.
Tel Aviv
And
is
I'm
expensive,
living
but
with
all of Israel is expensive.
roommates.
Sorry,
Yeah.
and you live with? Sorry?
Roommates.
Okay.
With roommates, yeah.
And I would estimate per month on food, it's about $1,000. You think?
Yes, I think so
Francesca?
too.
Okay, yeah, and I mean, I tend to like do a lot of takeout, so I spend more. But I think people survive, and people do survive on less. We have students who come from where they cook themselves and they eat lots of rice and beans and vegetables, which aren't too expensive, and they survive on a little bit less. But it's a costly country.
What about the costs of dorms?
Dorms are $880, I think it is, for per month. That's for a single room, a studio apartment. There are shared apartments which are a bit less, 600 and something. I forget the exact amount because they just raised it last year. So, but that's the general price. I would say, Francesca, you lived in the dorms, right, at the beginning? So,
yes,
okay, I'm going to say something and you can tell me I'm wrong, but living in the dorms are very, very nice. They're right next to the university. It's a 3-minute walk to your class. It's right there. It's just a little bit dull. We're kind of in the suburbs where the university is. So if your focus is to study a lot and speak to other students, then it's a great place to live. If you want to experience Tel Aviv, I would suggest living in Tel Aviv. That's I'm telling all of you. I was making a wide net there. Francesca, do you have anything to add? Because you've lived in both.
I mean, the area of the dorms is also super beautiful. It's boring, but it has a beautiful park close by, and it takes about a half an hour walk to the beach. And it's a nice area. It's the rich area of Tel Aviv, but yeah, it's not the real city. I would also suggest living in the city, but if you just want, yeah, as you said, Corey, if you just want to study and meet a lot of people and students, and also the dorms are a great place, and they're really beautiful and clean and new, and yeah.
So,
Alexia?
Francesca, how long does it take you to get from your apartment into the area where the classes are? For
me, for example, or Francesca?
Francesca.
Do you mean now that I live in the city, or now I'm living at the city, but when I lived at the dorms, it took about 10, not even like 5 minutes to class, and now I'm living in the city and it takes about 40 minutes because public transportation is not really great in Tel Aviv. If you have a motorbike or a scooter, then it takes less.
Sorry, Alexia, you had a question?
Yes, I'm actually connected to my phone because my computer doesn't work. So 555 is also me. Well, my question was, is there any possibility for prospective students to access this survey that you made with all the answers on, where do students go, what are the placements exactly, which companies and what backgrounds?
It's on our website. Every time I learn of something, you know what, I probably haven't updated it in a couple of months. So, but everything on our website, if you look under where people are today, is correct up until probably about 4 or 5 months ago, because I haven't, I'm sure people have sent me lists and I just haven't added it yet because I do the website every so often.
And also I had another question, and because you were talking about loans, I'm French. I have the French citizenship. And do you know if there is any possibility with the European citizenship to have access to specific loans, or is it, more?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. Do you have a student loan process in France?
Well, university is pretty cheap, so nobody,
No, because Americans do, because university is so expensive. So for Americans, it's quite easy. I know in Canada, you get loans from the bank. And from the government, but I don't know about Europe. I can ask. Okay. We have the head of TAUi International is from Switzerland, and she'd be a good person to ask. She would know.
Okay, thank you.
No, Israel doesn't offer loans. That I know. There are some scholarships that if you send me an email, I'll look into scholarships that are specific to Europe.
Thank you.
I think MFA, there's a Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I'm pretty sure France is on the list. Send me an email. I'll send you. Sorry, who is next? Who is asking a question? Sorry, I thought.
Yes. Hi. My question is also about the scholarships. Is there any scholarship that covers like all the fees, or it's like just some partial?
Partial.
It's partial. And
yeah,
do you have an idea of how partial they are? Like, is it like 20% or like 70 or?
Oh no, it's much like, well, they're different. So, okay, scholarships from us, from the program itself, are between $1,000 and $3,000. And that covers tuition, because all we're legally allowed to do is cover tuition. We're not allowed to pay for anything else. We're not allowed to give you money. We're allowed to offset tuition. That's a legal issue. Then there are other scholarships from around the world. If you go on our website, you'll see a list of some scholarships. But if you send me an email telling me, what country are you in?
So I originally come from Hungary, but I've been living in France for the past 7 years.
Do you have citizenship in both?
No, it's in, like, I asked for the French citizenship, so by
but you don't have it yet.
Okay.
It would go by citizenship, I think. Anyways,
okay.
So I would check on our website. There's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You know what? I can Google it while we're talking. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs has a scholarship fund, scholarships, which are very generous. It's about, if I remember correctly, about $7,000, plus you get about $800 a month for living expenses.
Oh, that's really cool.
And it's only for certain countries that they have agreed. Yes, Hungary is on it. Just France. Good. Let's check from already here. France is also on it. Yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you. And also, I have another question that, like, I'm a clinical psychologist, and I already have a private practice, which I wouldn't want to abandon completely for a whole year. So, do you think it's workable if I work like 2 days a week, or like 1 day a week, or do I really need to?
Okay, so actually, Francesca, do you want to speak to this? Could somebody work 1 day a week?
I definitely think so. I think it's, I mean, the first semester takes a lot of time, but I think you could, if you are super disciplined and have good time management, it should work. I had also friends that worked, and yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Thank you so much.
I wouldn't work more than 1 or 1.5 days a week, because first semester is very intense. It's tough because you're taking 8 courses at the same time. The second and third semester are a lot less. So the first semester is October to January, and then you have assignment to write. But if you are good at time management, yes, you can do some part-time work. Yes, I would.
Yeah, and second and third semester, I think 2 days a week would also work.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's cool. So it's really the first semester that
yes, that's the tough one.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And sorry, one last question is that because I studied psychology, so I saw that you offer some classes about the psychological aspects of conflict resolution and mediation. And would it be possible for me to go to classes that are talk more about the legal part or like political part? Because as I already studied like social psychology and mediation.
So even no matter what background you come from, you have to take all the first semester courses. So you will have to take social psychological aspects of conflict. Chances are most of it will be a review. You might hear about something new, but most of it will be a review. You do have a class in political approaches to conflict, international law, religion, and conflict. So you will learn other things, absolutely. And in the second semester, because they're all electives, you choose your courses. So you could choose from legal courses, political courses, economic courses, and you're open to take courses in other programs as well that are taught in English. So there are other options. So
awesome. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, who was next? Somebody else had their hand raised and I missed it. It was too quick. Oh, Kaumba. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
The first question is, okay, can I do this course online or do I have to be physically in Israel?
You have to be physically in Israel.
That's the first question.
The
second, I would like. Okay. Okay. The second question is, I would like to have an idea about the fees. How much does it cost per year?
Yes. So, okay. So the tuition is $16,800.
Okay.
And then I would suspect living expenses will be about $15,000 for the year. It's
okay.
It's an expensive country. So yeah, absolutely. Check also on our website for scholarships. Did you come from Nigeria, I think?
No, DRC.
Oh, DRC.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have scholarships specifically for emerging nations, developing countries. Which is pretty good. We can't pay for food or anything like that, but we try to cover the tuition. And so I would suggest anyone who's from not Europe, not North America, to apply.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Perfect.
Thanks.
One quick
Doris?
question.
Sorry, Doris. Doris had a question. Let me.
Yes.
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 Hi, Doris.
Good evening, all from Nigeria. Yes, my question is similar to what she just asked now, the lady from DRC. I actually want to get clarification because I've tried to check the website on the scholarships. It's like a bit confusing to me to try to get the category that suits the country I come from. And so I can be able to complete my application. And my number two question is the academic, the GP. In Nigeria, they do scoring over 5.0 scoring in calculating the GP. And what I saw in the requirements, I saw GP of 3.0. I want to understand the scale at which Israel uses in terms of their GP calculation. If like my GP suits for the admission requirements.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first answer is about the scholarships. I would suggest if you come from Africa to apply to the Emerging Nations scholarship. Because that's one of our biggest scholarships, and it's only for people who come from the developing world. So that I would say absolutely that's what you should want. In answer to your second question, I don't understand all the systems around the world, but we have a registrar's office. So you just need to upload your transcripts to the portal, and I have them assessed, and they tell me what your GPA is in our system. So that's all you need to do.
Okay.
So I would suggest doing that. Upload your transcript and your diploma. That's the first thing. And then I can tell you. You can write me an email and say, hi, I'm confused. Do I qualify? And I can find out. That's not a problem.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Do I still use this same mail thread to write you back if I have further questions?
No, go on the website. You know what? I'll write my email here and write me directly. Better. It'll get to me no matter what, but just to save time. X.u.ac.il. So here's my email in the chat. Right? I have terrible eyesight. Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So, Gail, you had another question?
Escapes me.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's my fault.
It's okay. If it comes to you, let me know.
Okay.
Does anyone else have questions? Francesca, is there anything else you would like to tell people about your experience? You were a student. I just sit in the classes sometimes for fun. So.
I can just tell you, if you have any questions, you're free. You can always email me or text me on WhatsApp if you want. I can also write down my WhatsApp number. But I really enjoyed the program. I'm doing the thesis now. I really love living in Tel Aviv. I think it's a good mixture of practical and theoretical experience. It's super multidisciplinary, and yeah, I can really recommend doing the program. Mm-hmm.
Gail, you remembered.
Remembered.
Good job.
Is there any opportunity for Hebrew classes with the program? And I forgot the other one now. Okay, go ahead. That's it.
It's okay. I also have a terrible memory, so by the second question, I would forget your first question. So don't worry. So yes, you can take Hebrew classes during the academic year. They're not for credit, and they cost extra. They're not included in the tuition. So they're $500. There's also Arabic. There's Arabic and Hebrew at different levels in the first semester and in the second semester. And that's through the university. It's more of a classroom environment, formal learning Hebrew or learning Arabic situation. Also in Tel Aviv, there are lots of Hebrew classes for people who don't know Hebrew in the city itself. And those are more, you're sitting around in a cafe, around a table, or in somebody's living room. So they're a little bit more casual. I don't know if the price is that much cheaper, but it depends on your style. They tend to be in the evening, whereas the classes with the university tend to be in the mornings. So I would say that actually, if you're taking the program, I try to talk people out of learning Hebrew during the year, because it's fine at the beginning, the first 2 months, but by December and January, when you have your classes and you have presentations and midterms and exams and whatever coming up, you stop going to your Hebrew class, and then it turns into a bit of a waste, because it tends to be the same times and they interfere with each other. That's my experience. There's other people who said, no, it was fine. It really depends on you. That's what I would say. But I always tell people, so take courses, either if you can come before, if that's a possibility, great, take it in the summer, because there are Hebrew courses in the summer at Tel Aviv University also, or take courses in the evenings. You know, there's usually hour-long courses in Tel Aviv at some point. So
would there be university housing available during the summer if I was to come and want to do the Hebrew classes?
Good question. I can't guarantee it, but if you send me an email, I will look, because generally there's somebody who leaves at some point and then there's a free room. Yes, that usually happens. Or there's somebody who wants to get out of their contract if they need to leave, and then you could take it over. They don't usually open the dorms for people who are just coming to do the Hebrew classes, but it usually works out that there is a way to do it. So it's, okay. If you've never been to Israel, and I'll tell everybody who's never been to Israel, this is a very on-the-fly culture where anything can happen, and just because you're told something doesn't mean it's actually going to happen. It's very, so for example, they will say officially you can't, as a just learning Hebrew in the summer, you can't have a dorm room. But of course, if you phrase it in, was there any cancellations? Oh, of course there's cancellations. So you just have to, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. There's no guarantee, but usually it's fine. Other questions?
Yes, sir. I have another question, sir.
Yeah, girls.
And please don't mind me. I'm walking down the street to get to my house.
Okay.
My last question is on the application fee. Like, I want to understand it, like, for this interaction, does it apply for application fee waiver? Yeah.
Sorry, you broke up. Does the application of fee apply to what?
Okay. Sorry, I'm holding a whole lot of things. I'm just coming back from a workshop.
That's okay.
So my question is this: can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead. Did we lose her?
I think that what she was asking is whether the application fee can also be waived as part of her.
Oh, waived. I didn't hear that word.
Yes.
No, we're not allowed to waive the application fee. There's a $150 application fee. We're not allowed to waive it for anyone. It's not, the university won't allow it. So hopefully she'll either come back on or she'll email me and I'll explain that to her. So, okay, anyone else? Is there anybody new who I haven't spoken to who wants to ask something?
Sorry, can you come again?
Yeah, sorry. So you asked, sorry, Doris, I think Gail explained it. You're asking about waiving the application fee, if it's possible?
Yes.
No, unfortunately, it's not possible. The university won't allow it.
Okay.
But if you send me your transcripts, if you send me your transcripts or upload them, you don't have to pay the fee yet. I'll have them assessed to at least let you know what your chances are. That I can do. That I'm allowed to. Okay. That's great. I don't want anyone paying an application fee, mostly when it's when it's difficult for them, unless they know that they're actually can get into the program and can come. So absolutely, that's fine. Okay. Let me know.
Okay, please. Additional question. Pardon me. I also want to ask if one can be able to apply for more than one course.
For the what cost?
More than one course for the school. Can you, for instance, apply for more than a course?
One program.
As like 2-3 courses.
Each one, according, if you apply, and you have to pay the $150 for each of them, for each program.
Okay.
But if you know what your GPA is, so for example, if you upload your transcript and your diploma, and I have them assessed, and I can tell you in our system, it'll show, and then you can ask other programs the same question. What are my chances? Well, I mean, we understand that not everyone, it's difficult for some people to afford multiple application fees. So no, we understand. So we'll just deal with you through email and tell you your chances and explain how things work. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Okay, anyone else?
I have a quick question. How many courses, courses are there in the semester?
Good question. Oh, I thought you were going to ask on the program, right? Because that I can't remember. So in the first semester, there are 8 courses. Yeah, it's a lot. You can, if you go on our website and look under calendar, you'll see what the first semester looks like. One of them is not, I mean, there's no assignments. We inviting guest speakers, and it's just, you just have to show up. The other 7 are actual courses with readings and assignments, and those are tough. The second semester, you need you take 2 seminars, which are 2.5-hour courses, and spring and summer. They kind of lead into each other. So you choose 2 seminars, and you need to do 5 elective courses. So you have 7 courses total. It gets a little complicated because if you do the practicum course, it counts for more credits. So you actually do less courses, but I don't want to get things complicated. But let's say it's 7 courses in the spring and summer, and you could split them up in some way, or you can finish them all in the spring, depending on what your choice of courses. It's an intensive program. We're fitting in what should be 1.5 years into 10 months. It's very intensive. So it's a lot, but if you are good at time management, then it's not that bad. And you learn a lot. You really get a lot out of it. It's super. I sit in a lot of the classes, even though I come from this field, because I find our lecturers super interesting. And mostly when something new happens in the Middle East, I want to go into half the classes and just hear what they have to say about it. So it's very, if you're interested in conflict situations, this is a super interesting program.
Do you happen to have on the website a list of who the professors or presenters are?
Yeah, if you look under courses, you'll see a list of the courses, and under each course, it explains who the lecturers are. Gives a bit of their bio, where they come from. Some of them have links to websites. Not all of them, unfortunately. I'm trying to get some of them to build websites, but they're not all good at that. But yes, there's information about them. There's even a few videos that I filmed of asking them about their course, so you get a sense of who they are, because I think that's important for you guys to know.
Please, can I ask more questions?
Yes, go ahead, Doris.
I'm sorry, I'm home now. Okay, my question is also best geared on the scholarship application. Does it require additional documents to apply for the scholarship, or is it something that when you are qualified to pay the admission fee, application fee, that you are also automatically qualified for the scholarship? Maybe you don't have to like fill the form or something, just the application process.
You have to fill a not a form. You write a short paper about why you're applying and give reasons of why. For this is for the developing countries or emerging nations scholarship. What you plan to do when you return to your country, that sort of thing. That's what they want to know. But the rest of it is the stuff, is the information that we have, from what I remember. There's another scholarship which is more for a smaller amount, and we ask for tax receipts. But that's more an American thing. People applying from the U.S. because that relates to them. No, for you, it would be more about writing about why. What do you plan to do with the degree? Why are you applying? Why is it important for you to study conflict resolution? That sort of thing. Just introducing yourself to the committee. That's the idea. But it doesn't cost anything to apply for a scholarship. There's no charge for applying for any scholarship. Anyone else? Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. If you will probably think of more questions, so please, I put my email in the chat, and you could just go on our website and find me. It's very easy to find me, and you can send me an email if you think of something later. Not a problem. Plus, this is being recorded, and we will send you this recording after.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Francesca, for coming on.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.